If you want big spiritual experiences, stop trying to force them. Hey guys, it's John out here on the back deck with my beautiful mug of coffee. Absolutely loving this weather. There's a really nice breeze right now blowing across. Yeah. It's kind of cool, which means I'm not really that hot. And I'm very comfortable. I don't know if you could hear those motorcycles that just went by. I wanted to hop on and talk about not forcing spiritual experiences if you want to have them. My first big spiritual experience in adulthood was what some people call the Kundalini rising. You know, that's just a label someone puts on an experience. But when I explained and described this experience to somebody else, they gave me that label. That's why I called it that. But I wanted to talk about this because that experience was a very unique experience in that I was lying in a tent, freezing my butt off, and I started to warm my feet up with my mind. I just started focusing on my feet getting warm. Now, this is because I had seen something on television about Buddhist monks who could warm their body up. So I was focusing on doing it myself because I was literally freezing in a tent. And I started focusing on my feet being warm. And as my feet got warm, I then began focusing on bringing it up to my shins, and then bringing it up to my knees, and bringing it up to my thighs and my pelvis and my abdomen. I came all the way up to my chest, and then it wouldn't go any higher. I couldn't get it to get open to my face. And I started trying to force it. I'm trying to make it happen. And it wouldn't happen. And then I heard a thought. And the thought was, relax into it. Relax into it. If you believe in a God that wants us to experience God more fully, would God make it hard? Would God make it a struggle? Would God make it, he'd make it as easy as it would possibly be. And the ease of it is the direct method of getting there. The other day, I spoke to someone who was a top level athlete, and he was talking about all the techniques and methods for getting to the peak performance. And I was telling him some of my experiences. Well, how did you do it? What was the method? What was the technique? And I said, you're not probably not going to like what I'm going to say, but the technique is to just declare that you're doing it and believe it. You know, the techniques themselves are pathways away from the outcome, because the techniques themselves are unnecessary, because the techniques are more complex than the source would make it be for us. The techniques are something that make us have to go through a process of linear time, whereas everything is present moment and fearless. I am doing it, and just totally believe you're doing it. Exhale, let it happen, because it is a relationship with you and the energy of the source. When you declare something into your life using an I am statement or a present moment declaration, you are literally telling the source, this is what we're creating. But it's until you hand it over to the source, let it go to the source, let go, let God, right? Handing it over and saying, this is what we're doing. This is what it is. This is what we're doing. This is what it is. This is what we're doing. This is what it is. When you get very conscious about this is what we're doing, and then letting it go and go out, your return happens really fast. And I've been very lucky in my life. I've been able to get to this point of understanding that I can manifest very quickly. And my manifestations, in many cases, happen within hours. And it's only because I believe that when I declare something, I receive it. There's no method, modality, or technique that I'm using to get it. I'm just literally declaring and believing. I'm just saying, I am this, blank. And when I told the top level athlete about this, I explained to him a very interesting perspective. I was a top level stage combatant in Renaissance Festival performance. I used to do a comedy sword fighting show, and we were known for amazingly intricate and fast fights. we would come down to the final fight of our ale extravaganza show. That's what we call it. It's a hack and slash ale extravaganza show. Sword fighting and beer, kind of like an Irish honeymoon. And we would come to that moment before that, our most intricate and fastest fight. And we would drop to our knees and we would do a funny prayer. And at that moment, which is the moment just before that fight starts, if either one of us were to stop and think about choreography or think about what we have to do or what the method or modality or technique of what the process of what we were about to do to do this fight, the fight would get messed up. We would come to that moment, we'd both just blank our minds because we'd done all the work. We know what this is. And all we focused on was being the best we could be. I am rocking this fight. I am performing this to its greatest intention. And what became really interesting is we would do those fights that people would be blown away because of how fast we're moving. But then all of a sudden, you know, my experience was very unique. I'm performing at this very highly efficient level, in really technical perfection in my mind. And inside of that, I was having a different experience, just kind of being an observer of my execution. And then I was actually able to have conversations within that fight choreography with my comedy partner. And it was conversations that were both looks and experiences and also the idea of able to actually say something that had nothing to do with what our bodies were doing. We would do something that was really spot on perfect and looked beautiful. And we both knew it was. And, I'd look at him like a dead damn right. And I'd just keep going. We'd have these great conversations. That is because I let go. I didn't make it hard. I put myself in the place of saying, I am doing this. I am creating this. I am exploring this. I am performing at my peak. I am joyfully receiving. I am happily creating. I'm wonderfully exploring. It comes down to that very simple statement. And yes, there's a shirt plan that'll just simply say, I am, with a line and a dot. And on the back, it's going to say, the choice is yours. Because that idea of I am, and no other method, modality, or technique, I am. And whatever you say behind that word is exactly the choice you've made to experience. And when you say, I am this, and you just let everything else go, it happens very quickly, happens very easily, because that is the direct way to communicate and to experience God by literally being a part of God. When Moses said the name of God was I am. Well, it's also a present moment declaration. So in other words, it's you and God as one, exactly as Jeshua says in the Bible. The Father and I are one, and you must become one with me as I am with the Father. It comes down to you stepping into that reality of you are the pinpoint of creation. God is supplying everything you believe. And it's a matter of you understanding it's a co-creative relationship. And it's easy and it's simple and it doesn't have to be a struggle. It literally is. I am. And when you look at the aspect of that and you realize you've been saying, I am a victim, or I am poor, I am suffering, I am struggling, I am grieving, all of those things are creative. And you say, I am joyfully remembering my ones who I've lost. I am happily carrying their memory forward. I am joyfully living a life of expression of my greatest self, my best self, my most accomplished self, my wealthiest self, my happiest self. I am, I am, I am. And when you come back to that I am, you start to sound like Popeye. I am said I am's. And that's all that I am, because I am's what I am, what I am. When you come back to that place, you start to realize it's that simple. Whatever you declare about your life, let it go to God. But make sure you're very conscious about what you're declaring. Don't declare lack and victimhood and poverty. Declare joy, abundance, love, prosperity, abundance. All those things are simply an I am choice. And when you declare that I am choice and you let it go, you receive it back. And that's the important part of this. It's not hard. It's not something you force. It's something that's easy because it is so simple. We have a hard time comprehending it, just like my very first regression said. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.